The Syrian sun beat down on ruins, casting long shadows over the remnants of a once thriving civilization. Buildings once proud and full of life were now mere skeletons against the harsh sky, their walls crumbling and their windows shattered. Dust devils danced in the streets, a grim waltz of despair that seemed to mock the silence left in the wake of destruction. This was Syria, a land ravaged by war, its people bearing the weight of years of conflict. Families torn apart, lives disrupted, and dreams shattered. Thousands of miles away in the heart of Riyadh, a different scene unfolded. The city buzzed with life, a stark contrast to the desolation of Syria. The Saudi royal palace gleamed, an oasis of opulence and grandeur, its golden domes and intricate designs a testament to immense wealth. Fountains whispered in marble courtyards, their music a stark contrast to the silence of Syrian cemeteries. The water sparkled under the sun, a symbol of life and prosperity. Here, under the watchful eyes of wealth and power, a meeting of historic proportions was about to commence. The air was thick with anticipation. The world held its breath, waiting to see if this gathering could bring about a change, a glimmer of hope in a world fraught with tension. Could this meeting bridge the chasm of enmity that had separated two nations for decades? Could it pave the way for a new era of understanding and cooperation? Could this be the first, fragile step towards peace? The hopes of many rested on the shoulders of a few. The stage was set, the actors in place. Every word, every gesture would be scrutinized, every decision weighed. The drama of diplomacy was about to begin, a delicate dance that could shape the future of nations. The relationship between the United States and Syria had long been fraught with tension. A history of mistrust and disagreement stretched back decades. A tangled web of proxy wars, political ideologies, and clashing interests. The United States had imposed sanctions on Syria in 1979, labeling it a state sponsor of terrorism. The relationship further deteriorated with the outbreak of the Syrian civil war in 2011. The United States backed opposition forces, accusing the Syrian government of human rights abuses. Years of accusations, condemnations, and military interventions followed. The two countries stood on opposite sides of a bloody conflict, their animosity deepening with each passing year. The possibility of a thaw in relations seemed remote, a distant dream. Yet, in the ever-shifting sands of geopolitics, even the most entrenched positions could shift. All eyes were on the grand entrance of the Riyadh Palace as two figures emerged. Former United States President Donald Trump, known for his unpredictable moves, walked alongside Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. The weight of history hung heavy in the air. The world watched, captivated as their hands met. The handshake, seemingly simple, carried the weight of years of conflict, mistrust, and animosity. It was a gesture loaded with symbolism, a beacon of hope in a region scarred by war. The image flashed across screens worldwide, a symbol of a potential reset, a departure from the past. Was this the beginning of a new chapter in United States-Syria relations? Could this handshake pave the way for peace in a region desperate for it? The world waited with bated breath. The grand hall of the palace buzzed with anticipation. Diplomats, dignitaries, and journalists from every corner of the globe strained to hear Trump's words. The air crackled with expectation. In his signature style, Trump spoke of a new era, a chance for peace and prosperity. He announced the cessation of United States sanctions against Syria, a move that sent shockwaves through the international community. "It's time to give them a chance," he declared, his voice echoing through the silent hall, a chance at greatness. The implications were enormous. The lifting of sanctions could breathe life into the devastated Syrian economy. It signaled a potential shift in United States foreign policy, a willingness to engage with former adversaries. But could this promise be kept? Would the winds of change truly sweep across the war-torn nation? Section 5. The Architects of Peace. This unexpected turn of events was not a sudden whim. It was the result of meticulous planning and strategic foresight. Behind the scenes, two regional powers had been working tirelessly to broker this historic meeting: Saudi Arabia and Turkey. These nations, often seen as rivals, found common ground in their desire for regional stability. Saudi Arabia, a key U.S. ally and a major player in the Middle East, saw an opportunity to reassert its influence in the region. The kingdom recognized that fostering peace could enhance its standing on the global stage. Turkey, grappling with its own set of challenges related to the Syrian conflict, was eager for a solution that would bring stability to its border. The ongoing conflict had strained its resources and posed a significant security threat. Through back channels and diplomatic maneuvers, they had chipped away at the wall of distrust between the U.S. and Syria. These efforts involved countless hours of negotiation and the exchange of confidential documents. They had persuaded Trump to consider a new approach, one that prioritized dialogue and engagement over confrontation. This was no small feat given the administration's initial stance on the issue. Their efforts, conducted largely away from the public eye, had culminated in this momentous meeting. It was a testament to the power of diplomacy and the relentless pursuit of peace. Section 6. A new dawn for Damascus. The news of the lifted sanctions reverberated through the streets of Damascus. People gathered in cafes, their eyes glued to television screens, while others eagerly read newspapers, absorbing every detail. For the first time in years, a glimmer of hope flickered in the eyes of its war-weary citizens. Families who had endured years of hardship and uncertainty now dared to dream of a brighter future. Could this be the turning point they had been praying for? In mosques and homes, people whispered prayers of gratitude and hope, yearning for a new beginning. The road ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges. The scars of war were visible everywhere, from the damaged infrastructure to the haunted expressions of its people. Rebuilding a nation shattered by years of conflict would be a monumental task. Yet, amidst the rubble, there were signs of resilience. Construction workers and volunteers tirelessly worked to restore what was lost. The scars of war ran deep, and healing the wounds of division and distrust would require time, effort, and a commitment to reconciliation. The physical and emotional injuries were a constant reminder of the past, yet even in the face of such daunting obstacles, the Syrian people dared to dream. Children played amidst the ruins, and communities came together to plant trees and flowers, symbolizing hope and renewal. The lifting of sanctions offered a lifeline, a chance to rebuild their lives and reclaim their future. Markets began to bustle with activity, and families received much-needed aid, bringing smiles to their faces. The world watched with a mix of cautious optimism and apprehension, wondering if this fragile hope would blossom into lasting peace. International news anchors reported from Damascus, capturing the mixed reactions of people around the globe. Section 7. Ripples in the global pond. The impact of this historic meeting extended far beyond the borders of Syria. It sent ripples through the intricate web of international relations, challenging old alliances and creating new dynamics. The international community was divided. Some lauded Trump's bold move, seeing it as a long overdue step towards peace. Others expressed skepticism, questioning the motives behind the sudden policy shift and its potential long-term consequences. The meeting also highlighted the shifting geopolitical landscape. The rise of regional powers like Saudi Arabia and Turkey signaled a move away from a unipolar world dominated by the U.S. The old order was changing, and the meeting in Riyadh was a stark reminder of this new reality. Section 8. A crossroads of hope and uncertainty. The meeting in Riyadh was a watershed moment, a pivotal point in the long and troubled history of U.S.-Syria relations. It offered a glimmer of hope for a peaceful resolution to the Syrian conflict, a chance for the war-torn nation to heal and rebuild. Yet, the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty. The legacy of mistrust and animosity ran deep. Implementing the agreements reached in Riyadh would require patience, diplomacy, and a willingness to compromise from all parties involved. The world held its breath, watching and waiting to see if this fragile hope for peace would take root and flourish or wither under the weight of history's long shadow. The future of Syria, and indeed the stability of the entire region, hung in the balance. Section 9. Join the conversation. The meeting between Trump and Assad has ignited a global debate. What do you think? Was lifting sanctions the right move? Will this lead to peace in Syria? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to Global Public Square for more in-depth analysis on this developing story. Let your voice be heard in this crucial conversation.